Hi class. This is your fourth seminar, number 2 for your module 2. It's a short one today as the topic is fairly narrow and focused. Publishing articles, white papers. Some of you may find yourself writing articles. Either articles, say, for a blog on a particular topic. White papers, by their nature, are generally longer than that, more technical in nature, and even a narrower market focus often. And then ebooks can be very broad topically, but they're obviously require a lot more work to prepare. All of these different media are not typically something that you would use from a consumer marketing perspective. Rather, they're used in many cases by consulting firms, or if you write a book, it's topical to the extent of what you're writing around, and that in and of itself defines your overall market or target market. Articles are often a couple pages long as opposed to white papers, which are generally longer in nature. I've listed a couple white paper sites, even though this particular page is around articles, where you can find white places where you can a good white paper is for a business audience, whereas an article could be um, more focused in a consumer perspective in nature. You could write an article for a blog, you could write an article for a newspaper, whatever. But a white paper generally is written for a business, oftentimes a business audience, defines a problem or talks about aspects of a particular product. You often find white papers written by think tanks. And so if you were to Google think tanks in the United States, you'd get a list of think tanks. And you can take a look, at what kinds of things these are written around, but they can often be political in nature, economic in nature. They really run the gambit, but you can find one that might be interested in writing one for you. But generally, the people that write these white papers are very often employees or contracted out by the consulting firm that is writing white papers across topics, like the Milken Institute, I believe, writes white papers around economic and stuff. If you want to write a white paper and for the maybe you're an academic and you want to get a paper published of some kind, uh, you should assess the needs that you're addressing within your paper, plan what you're going to include, acquire your information, organize it just like you would actually with an article, but on a kind of a grander scale. Uh, Design a look and feel that's consistent with the topic that you're writing about. Write it, illustrate it, illustrations if necessary, again depending on the topic. But white paper certainly embrace the concept that a picture is worth 1,000 words, so illustrations oftentimes are very appropriate. Get somebody to review it for you, revise it as necessary, and then you can publish it in wherever you believe that to be appropriate, that has an They tend to look something like this, especially when they come out of the think tanks. Again, I would encourage you, if you're interested, to go to Google think tanks in the United States, and you'll find a whole list of them at WikiLinks that um, again, from a marketing standpoint, they don't have the same panache or application that tools that we've reviewed up to now have as far as resonating or connecting with the general market around what we consider to be standard sorts of consumer issues. So they're not generally something that we use at all in the consumer market. Again, it's more like in the business market. They do have a different kind of status, I think, is now your seminar project for this week is relies on the information in chapter 5 that you went over around podcasts and blogs and that sort of thing, and it focuses on so just as with the assignment that I included in the seminar slides in module 1, all I expect is to go through these 4 slides around that assignment and answer the included. If you have, if you believe that your text does not have information that would help you on this assignment, then let me know and I will look into my text. I don't know what's in yours, but I know what's in mine. So if there's information that I think is germane, I'll PDF it as like I did last time, and you guys can use it. Otherwise, I think this thing is a fairly decent standalone assignment that doesn't require any information around the Huffington Post from the text, but rather you can rely on what the text talks about around blogs, and you can take a look at the Huffington Post blog itself and get a pretty good idea of what's included in there. So there's the assignment. Let me know if you have questions.